Hello, thanks for joining me today. Today we are going to make something a little bit different. I typically do cards. I do projects and stuff occasionally, but I haven't actually made any videos of that yet. But we're gonna do a little different and I'll show you it in just a second. But first I want to preface this video with an apology if you hear some very loud, crazy beeping. My phone, which is what I use to video, is connected to my son's Dexcom. Dexcom is a blood glucose monitor. He has type 1 diabetes, and so this morning he's been low a lot and it just keeps going off, and there's no way to silence it on my phone. It's a feature for emergencies. So no matter what I do on my phone, I can't silence it unless I get rid of the app, which, you know, I don't want to do and shouldn't do. So I just wanted to apologize in advance. This is the only time that I have available with my busy schedule to do a video, but I suspect you're going to hear some beeping, and so I just wanted to apologize for that. I don't even think I could edit it even if I knew how to edit it. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So today we are making this adorable little shaker tag. Whoops. I'm calling it a tag. So like I left it like this, but you could like glue some ribbon on the back and have it be up so that you can attach it to something as a tag. You could probably even punch a hole in it if you wanted to. I would actually do that to the back paper first before connecting it all together. But I wanted to just leave it like this so that I have it on hand and then I can decide what I want to do with it when it's time for me to use it. Also, if I really wanted to, I could go ahead and just stick this on like a card base. I'm not gonna actually stick it on here, but I'm just gonna show you. I could, you know, just do up the background a little bit if I wanted to, and I could literally just stick it on. I could put it straight, I could put it off the side, whatever I wanted to do. This has a little bit more dimension to it than a regular dimensionals. These are the foam adhesive strips. But still, it could make a really cute card. But I'm just making it as like a little tag. I think this would be adorable for anybody, like for their gift bag. Put a little tape on it and stick it on top of their present. And honestly, my kids would love to just have this as like a quote fidget. They are so into fidgets, and many things qualify as a fidget. So let's go ahead and get started. This project does take a little bit of time, more than typical, in my opinion. So let's just get right into it. So first thing that we need is a background piece. I am using this piece from the Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper, which I think is still available. It's while supplies last I looked, it was available, but I can't promise that it's still available. You can use any paper you want for this though. So this is going to be my background. I used the stitched rectangle framelits, rectangle stitched framelits either way. And this would be, I think, framelit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th and 6th one in that we're going to be using. So I used number 5 to cut this out. And then I used another piece of the DSP, and I used rectangles 5 and 6 together like this to cut out this piece. And then I'm going to just take this center piece out, and now I have a frame. And I'm just going to set this aside. So I now have my background piece. I now have my frame. I then also wanted a little piece for my ice cream. So this ice cream has as you can see, 2 scoops. You could do 1, you could do 2, you could probably even do 3 if you wanted. This one's 2. I'm gonna cut out 2 and then we'll decide if we're gonna use 2 or not. So I got my punch here. It cuts out the ice cream and the cone. And I want to punch out this ombre looking piece. And then I'm going to punch out this more pink piece, which I think is probably petal pink, maybe. Well, it seems kind of dark. I'm not really sure. So those are my 2 pieces that I'm going to punch out, I think. Maybe I want a darker one because that kind of blends in. Let's try this darker purple one. Since it kind of blends in a little bit, I might want this darker piece, which is, I think what I'm going to do is go like this. And that has like white space, but that's okay, because what I would do is I'll put this as my top piece and this is my bottom layer. So we'll save this for another time. And then that centerpiece that we had cut out from this what I call cone paper for the frame is what you would use to cut your ice cream cone out, to punch it out. But I have one that I've already used, so I'm going to use that first. I'm just going to stick it in, get myself a little cone, and there. I now have, oh, that didn't punch very well. Let's punch that again. I don't like the way that came out. That's better. So we got that. All right, so we have our pieces. Then we have a small scrap of white for our sentiment, and we'll just set that aside. And we also have a window sheet, which again, I cut out with the 5th stitched frame, and I'm going to set that aside for a minute too. All right, so first we're going to start with this background piece. We have these foam adhesive strips, and I'm just going to take a strip and I'm going to line it up with the edge as close as I possibly can. Now this frame like just fits over this piece, so we have to definitely make sure that we are right up, like on the money basically, with the edge of this background. I'm not sure if you can see my head. I apologize if you can. And we'll get another strip. And you can just, you know, butt them right up against each other where you stop. And I'm going to trim that. And we'll put down the edge here. And then we have one more edge to go. Actually, I like to do it this way from the back side. And then butt up against here. Not sure. Like I said, I might be in the frame. I apologize. I'm gonna cut that as close as we can. Don't want too much space because you don't want your sprinkles to fall out. All right, extra piece. I'm just gonna go ahead and set that right back on with the other strips so I can use it later. So there we go. We have our adhesive. It gives a nice little lift. I'm sure if you can see that. And our sprinkles will go in here. Then, so we're gonna set that aside. So now we're gonna work on this piece. This is our window sheet. On this particular one, I put the cone on the inside, but I'm kind of realizing, and I glued it in there, but I'm kind of realizing that may not be the best. I like it because it's not going to peel off. It's inside. But shaking wise, it's kind of in the way. And I didn't want glue to be seen. So you could take your cone and put it on the outside. And I'm going to do that this time. No, I'm not. I want to show you how I did this in case you want yours on the inside. You can easily put it on the outside. So here's my window sheet. I'm going to attach all of these pieces together first. So I'm going to take, you can use whatever you want for your adhesive. I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal here and put a line of that at the top of this scoop of ice cream. Then I'm going to go ahead and kind of line this up the way I want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and flip it and put a line of that at the bottom of my ice cream, and then I'm going to put my cone on there. I'm not going to stick it down too hard yet because I kind of want to see how I have it, and then I can be a little more firm with it. Okay, so there's my cone. Now, this was the part that I had to figure out. So I didn't want glue to be seen on this side of the window sheet. So what I did is I took some glue dots. Here they are. And I kind of rolled them, or you can fold them over or whatever, but you don't want them to be their full size because then they can be seen. I'm going to take and put one as close to the as close to the edge on the cone here as possible, so that hopefully it's not seen. I did have to do some rearranging on my other one, so we'll see on this one. And then I put a piece down here on the bottom of the cone. And then I just put it at a little angle, and I put it over, and it's over the edge a little bit, and that's okay. We're going to trim that off. So now, before I go any further, I'm taking this frame, and I'm just going to set it over the top and see if I can see my glue dots. Jeez, couldn't even think of the name of it. I can see this one a teeny tiny bit, but I don't think anyone's really going to notice that, and I can't see this one, so it's all good. Now, I could put glue here and stick the whole thing down, but I really think someone's going to notice the glue, so I'm not doing that. So there's my piece. So I'm going to set this aside real quick because now I also want to put my sentiment on the inside. So I have my small strip here, and I'm using the happy birthday from the Hey Birthday Chick, because I like, where is it? I like the fun font of it, and it's fairly small. I wanted something small. I'm going to use my Blackberry Bliss ink pad. Oh, it looks like it is not doing so hot. Well, we'll try and see what happens. I haven't used this one for a while. Okay, that'll be just fine. It's bubbling up for some reason. All right, so I'm gonna now. This stamp of all stamps, I really always struggle to get it straight. So let's see what we can do here. Oh, not too bad. I'm going to trim it anyways. I want it to be as close as possible to the words, because I want it to be small. I don't want it to take up a ton of room in here. The ice cream's already taking up a good amount of space, and I want to be able to see my shaker stuff. I'm going to use my I'm going to use my snips. These are the best scissors ever. They're so great. So I'm going to really come close, so close that I'm kind of taking off the bottom of that Y. Then I'm going to come real close to the end of the birthday, and I'm going to give it a little angle up. And I'm going to go real close to the top of my words. And I'm leaving this space here until I figure out where I want my placement here, and then I can cut it off. So I want to make sure that I have enough space here that I'm not going to cover my words when I put my frame on. So I'm just going to hold it there with my fingers until I can see where my placement is going to be. And I think right there is going to be pretty good. So hopefully I can remember that, because now I need to put a little bit of seal at the top of my cone there. And then take my happy birthday back, set it on there, and just kind of figure out my placement. I think that's probably good right there. And I didn't do this before with my other one. I'm going to add one more glue dot in here. I'm going to add it right up here, where the birthday is, just to kind of help hold that in place. Now, before I go any further, I want to snip off all this excess. All right, so that piece is now done. Now I'm going to put my sprinkles in here. These are the ice cream corner sprinkles. I think these are retiring, but I'm not positive. That means if they are retiring, they're retiring at the end of this month. So you will need to see if they're still available, but you can put anything in here. Sequins, we have like little trinkets and stuff, anything. You could even make paper sequins by punching the stuff out. So I think that's probably a good amount. Whoops. Now that's the problem. You have to be super careful, because if you hit it even a little bit, they all pop out. Okay. My sprinkles are in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing for all of my adhesive, and you gotta like really kind of hold this carefully so that, again, your pieces don't all pop out. And the thing that I find the hardest about this is lining the top up with this. You'll probably see what I'm talking about. Since I'm on video, I of course will probably not be able to do it. All right, so here's my piece. I'm going to just do my best to line it up, and not like, don't push it down hard until you're pretty sure it's lined up, because you don't want to struggle to pull it off. And I think I need to pull it up a little bit on this side, maneuver a little bit, and I think that's pretty good. Now, what I did notice when I did it this way is that there's a gap right here, because my ice cream paper went over the foam. I don't think it will be a problem, but what I did to help ensure that it's not a problem is I took a glue dot, again, kind of rolled it up, and I just stuck one glue dot in the center of that to help hold it down. So that hopefully no sprinkles will come out. But when I'm really, really shaking it and nothing is coming out. So I think that we are all good. So now I'm going to put my frame on. The frame could probably be put on several ways. What I had decided to do was to use glue dots. I'm not sure how well seal or even liquid glue would work. They probably would work great, but this is so thin that I decided to use glue dots. So I just kind of fold the glue dots over, and I'm going to put one in each corner. If I can get it to actually stick to the paper and not to me or the tool. This is a take your pick tool. I have a blog post on it. It's like pretty much my favorite tool that we have. There's, not my favorite item necessarily, but my favorite tool. I love it. I use it for like everything. All right, so I've got my glue dots and I have stuck them in the corners, but you could probably leave it there if you wanted, but I don't think that that hole will hold well enough and it would look kind of funky. Even on this one, I don't think I put enough glue dots around because I can kind of see under. See that? So I'm going to put some extras around here. So let's just go ahead and do that. And this just takes a little bit of time, so I apologize, but I want it to really be on there, not kind of come off or be all willy-nilly. Oh, that glue dot in the corner got pretty messed up, so I'm putting a new one down, kind of spreading it out. All right, and then I'm putting more on this side. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put one on the top and bottom as well. I probably don't have to, but I feel like more is better in this particular situation. So now we have to line it up on our tag here. And again, you don't push it down until you think you have it pretty well lined up, because it'll be hard to get off, especially this, because it's just a little piece of paper and I don't, you know, don't want to rip it. And see, I already kind of have to maneuver it a little bit. And man, it is really sticking to me. And I'm just carefully going around trying to make sure that it lines up the best that I can. And that looks pretty good. Well, the bottom does not look pretty good. I spoke too soon. All right, I think the bottom is just, everything else is pretty lined up. So I'm just going to do some trimming. I didn't have to trim with my other one, but you know, lining this up is not the easiest at all. So I'm just trimming this a bit. Again, like I said, on video, I won't be able to do it. Off video, I didn't really have any problem with that other one. And I just can move this around a little bit. And there it is. I now have two tags, or they can go onto a card. They can be just put onto a present, like I said. And again, my kids would just take these and play with them. So that's the project for today. I hope you liked it. Links for things will be below if they're still available. If they're not available, you can still make this project. It may not be exact, but you can use your own paper, your own sequins. You can use whatever you want. This would work with a variety of items. Links on how to contact me are below, and I look forward to being your demonstrator and to you joining me on my next video. Have a good one.